ZAMCRO here, aka Scoop, back with the Pokemon Battle Federation. We're in Season 7, week number 10, and we have A1 Gallade taking on JRGB. The Gainesville Gallades taking on the St. Kilda Serperiors. So, you see A1, aka John, we'll call him A1, and we'll say JR and A1, okay? Just, you know, two characters for each. So, A1's got Volcarona, Mega Gallade, Rotom Wash, Jirachi, Como-O, and the Roserade. JR has the Alolan Raichu, which he leads with Miltank, Celesteela, Mamoswine, Primarina, and the Latios. So they're going to lead off here with the Alolan Raichu and the Jirachi for A1. A1 not bringing things like Bisharp and Piloswine, you know, that he had, and no Entei or Conkeldurr for the St. Kilda Serperiors over here on my side. So, a couple different things that both players could do here. I do think A1 led with Jirachi because it is more than likely a Shuka variant or potentially a Scarf variant, but that would mean that this Alolan Raichu is Scarf as well. So we'll see. No ground immunity. Well, no ground immunity. Excuse me. No electric immunities for A1. So Alolan Raichu can just Volt Switch spam the entire match until everything's pretty much in range of, you know, like Psychic or Thunderbolt or something like that. Jirachi here, like I mentioned, could potentially be a Shuka variant and could be a Stealth Rock variant here, yeah. And we do see the Stealth Rocks go up here, and he is a Leftovers variant, so no Shuka Berry, and the Celesteela is in with, you know, taking 0 damage to start off with. And Celesteela can do a couple different things here. It can throw off a Leech Seed, it can be a bulky set, it could be an Autotomized set, and go for that now and try to net a knockout. This is a potential Z-move user, so is Alolan Raichu. So JR has brought, you know, both. No pair there. He has brought both potential Z-move users, and A1 has the Volcarona that he brought, which is a potential Z-move user. So let's see here. That Earthquake did quite a bit to the Jirachi, so it doesn't look to be too much invested. If I could say that, if that's the right word to say. It doesn't look to be too physically defensive invested, at least, anyway. Or that you're just a really, really offensive Celesteela. One of the two. But, let's see what's going to happen here. I think an Earthquake's a pretty fine play. Can maybe throw off a Leech Seed, predicting the Rotom Wash. Jirachi could also go for a Wish here, predicting the Leech Seed, and then be able to protect on the following turn and get all of its health back, and then switch out to the Rotom Wash. That would be really nice. And he does go for the Earthquake here as John switches out to the Rotom Wash there. And now it's still 6-6, but significant damage has been taken by the Jirachi. And let's see what can happen here. I guess Rotom can basically just Volt Switch out. If he goes into the Mamoswine, and Mamoswine being a ground type, it doesn't really appreciate the Hydro Pump on the following turn. But then again, JR could, you know, go into his Mamoswine and then double into his Latios to drop a Draco, which with Jirachi being weakened is not a bad play at all, in my opinion. So out comes the Volcarona. So he doubles out into Volcarona on the Latios. So he goes into the Latios instead. So this thing could have been like, well, I guess it couldn't be really trapped or anything, but I guess Jirachi could come in on it. But it's slower anyway. But Mega Gallade could come in and speed tie with it. So I guess Latios wasn't a bad play at all. Especially if this Volcarona isn't Choice Scarf or anything. Which actually wouldn't be a bad set versus JR, Choice Scarf Volcarona. Well, at least versus the team that he has brought outside of, like, once Mamoswine goes down. Not Mamoswine, excuse me. Miltank. Once Miltank goes down, you know, spamming fire type attacks. And then, you know, having your occasional bug type attack for the Lottie. But let's see what's going to happen here. I think dropping a Draco is a fine play by JR. The only bad thing would be is if Volcarona goes for the Quiver Dance, and it ends up being like a really, really bulky Volcarona. Ooh, the Lottie goes. So this is Mega Latios, you know, mind you. So keep that in mind. And goes for the Calm Mind. I'm not necessarily, you know, sure I agree with that play in front of a Volcarona. Base 135 special attack or something like that. It's really high. It's really high, whatever it is. No, just kidding. But for real, it does have really high special attack, and I don't think that's something you would try to set up on. So let's see what's going to happen here. I think Draco was the play, or like some kind of tech like hidden power, bop. So the side shock just knocks that thing clean out, and he goes into the Mega Gallade here immediately. So guaranteeing that. Oh, okay, he's got the Shadow Sneak. Okay. Got the Shadow Sneak. So what's the check here? He goes into the Prima Arena. Don't necessarily know if this can take a hit, and if it can, does it avoid a flinch from the Zen Headbutt? So he does switch out to the Jirachi here. More than likely going to go for the Moonblast. And that's 22%. That's quite a bit to a steel type, especially being Jirachi there. So what's the course of action for both teams at this point? I think Mega Gallade and ooh man, it's gonna be tough. Mega Gallade is definitely A1's win condition at this point. I do believe it has to be. Like, yeah, it has to be. He just needs to be. He just needs to have everything in range. And how fast is a Alolan Raichu? Is it faster than regular Raichu? And if so, by how much? There's a para though. There's the first para of the match from the Body Slam. It's really nice to only see one. Hopefully this is just speed control and there's no full paralysis any turns. Hopefully, just to make for a clean game. So far, it's been pretty clean. Pretty sure anyway, if I recall. But so here he goes into the Roserade. Almost said Rotom-Raid. The Roserade, and can pretty much click the Giga Drain or the Sludge Bomb here pretty comfortably. It goes for the Sludge Bomb, and the Celesteela is going to be immune to that. And here, Roserade could actually click a Hidden Power Fire and just try to weaken the Celesteela. Ooh, is that Hidden Power Fire? It has to be, yeah, or Electric, I guess. It's Electric or Fire. And so Roserade goes down, but not before taking a big chunk out of it. Out of Celesteela there. Pretty nice. Let's see here. What's JR's win condition? Like, he's got to win with the Alolan Raichu, I believe. I think Alolan Raichu just kind of does win. If it's faster than Mega Gallade. I'm not sure if it's faster than its regular counterpart, though, which is Raichu. But we'll see. So down goes the Celesteela. Mega Gallade cops another kill. And we are at 4-3. Yes. So Celesteela knocked out the Roserade. Primarina knocked out the Jirachi. Volcarona was knocked out by the Megaladios. Megaladios knocked out by the Mega Gallade. Yeah, that's out, right? Okay, so we're caught up so far. He named it me in real life. That's so funny. Let's see here. What's going to be the play of action? I think you just got to go into the Alolan Raichu and Volt Switch out But then again, you have to take rock damage again. Maybe you could volt switch out into like Primarina, sack that thing off, go into Mamoswine, and then put that thing, click Ice Shard to put Mega Gallade in range of Alolan Raichu's Psychic, and then try to spam that throughout the match. Maybe, I'm not sure. How do you beat Rotom if Alolan Raichu can't? Like if Rotom is very Spadef and Alolan Raichu can't break it with like a 2 or 3 hit KO, at least a 3 hit KO. Good Lord. But yeah, this is kind of it seems like a really, really long game, but it's only been 12 turns, excuse me. I'm getting a little ahead of myself there. So in comes the Primarina. Now, I do not agree with this play whatsoever. This was the least likely mon I would have went into. Because it's paralyzed, I do believe it's going to be like, you're giving yourself a chance to be full parried for one, and then you're giving a Zen Headbutt, a flinch and a parry chance there. So, that's scary. And then, is Primarina even bulky enough to live a hit from this thing? Like, you don't resist Zen Headbutt, and Zen Headbutt's Baby Ace power from this monster-based, 165 attack or something like that. Let's see here what's going to happen. And, you would have this as a sack if you didn't go into it prematurely. Let me just check something with the Alolan Raichu. Let me see what its speed tier is. Just got to check on that real quick. So Alolan Raichu is actually the same speed as Mega Gallade. Oh, okay. Shadow Sneak is actually super effective too because it's a Psychic type. I always forget that Alolan Raichu is a Psychic type as well. So I guess Mega Gallade just eats at this point. There's not really too much you can do about it. I mean, you could maybe be like a Chople Berry Mamoswine with counter. That's just about, or like a, no, not even, I guess Chople Berry Miltank with counter would work here. But Focus Sash wouldn't work because it would be broken by Stealth Rocks at this point. It would have been maybe a nice lead. I do think Mega Gallade just eats the rest of this team. Unless like Alolan Raichu is Scarf and Shadow Sneak can't 2-hit KO. Perhaps Mamoswine is Scarf or can get an Ice Shard crit and put it in range of like Scarf Alolan Raichu. But I don't expect Alolan Raichu to be Scarfed. It could definitely be though, because it does, kind of, like if it has Hidden Power Rock, it can kind of check Volcarona. It can outpace Scarf Rachi and Scarf Roserade, Dragonette's Como. So yeah, I guess it does have some very solid merit and doesn't risk the speed tie with Mega Gallade. So yeah, pretty solid, I guess. Could definitely be Choice Scarf. But he brings in the Mamoswine here. Leads me to believe, furthermore that he's not Choice Scarf. But then again, like I mentioned, he could be setting up for the Choice Scarf Alolan Raichu sweep with like Psychic or something. And he does defense drop too right here. Or defense drop, depending on what he wants to go to here. But yeah, he kind of basically forces the switch here, or he gets a knockout on the Mega Gallade, which could definitely do without the special defense drop if he wanted to switch out. What's he going to want to do here, though? It is the question. It is the question. He goes for the Shadow Sneak. Super effective. And the Volt Switch doesn't even knock him out. Very unfortunate there. Maybe a choke. Maybe Psychic was the play. Because now you come in on rocks, you can't really do much. Miltank looks like it's going to drop to close combat if Miltank comes in. Really huge there. Really, really huge. Like, I guess he predicted, forcing the switch out, but what does he switch out to? And if he switches out to Como-O, why would you Volt Switch into a Miltank? Because then Como-O would just have, and it's the only viable mon to switch into, because you don't want Rotom to take damage. And you would be keeping Mega Gallade, so you wouldn't need Como-O for Miltank. So, Yeah, there. There goes the middle tank. Ooh, this is a nice 6 kills by Mega Gallade. But yeah, I definitely think that Alolan Raichu could have won this. Right there. I don't know if it would have necessarily been right there, but it definitely had a chance to win the game, especially if it was Choice Scarf, because it did. Well, I guess it didn't go first because of Shadow Sneak, and we don't know. So, but yeah, it's gonna be a good game to both coaches. A1 Galade's gonna move on to I forget what each coach's record will be at this point. I think A1's going to be 7-3, and Bacon Chest is actually going to be 6-4 after falling, back-to-back weeks to me, and now A1, and then has to finish off with Skyrise as well. So pretty tough schedule there for him at the end game. And then A1 will be facing off against Helmy next week. So that was my Week 10 opponent. He's going to be facing off against A1 next week. So look forward to that. Let me know what you think about the prep and plays on both sides of the field. Mega Gallade picking up 6 fucking knockouts. Best Mega. Hashtag Best Mega. Leave that in the comment section down below. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.